Good morning, everyone. Today is April the 29th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is Mason. With me is Todd Derby. Todd, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine, and he told me that there's a certain ticker that we're all interested in. It's going to make a big run as soon as everyone smashes that like button.
That's the only way.
So the more likes, the more subscribe buttons we get, the sooner our favorite ticker, POAI, will run.
That is the only thing that they are waiting on.
Yep. They got the rest 3 filed. Now they are just waiting to make sure we get proper subscribers to our channel. We're good to go.
Yep.
So put that in writing.
Yeah, so until then, we just have to sit here and not do anything until y'all just keep pounding the like button. All right. Oh, man, I am freaking tired. I stayed up until about 3 a.m. playing Grand Theft Auto, the role-playing mode online. And I played until I was kicked out of all the servers, and there was no more servers to get kicked out of that I could get in.
Why were you getting kicked out?
Because I've been trying to be a cop, and they haven't accepted me to be a cop, so I started shooting the cops and everyone else.
Wait, you're trying to be a cop, and so you started shooting the cops?
Yeah, after a while, you get tired of it. Like, it's like, come on, guys. I'm going to get your attention then. If I can't be a cop, I'll be a criminal. So, I mean, that's the way it goes.
You know the saying, if you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. And no, they didn't find it as being fair. So they were upset. The mods were upset. And I just kept getting kicked out of all the servers unfairly. So, yeah, that was my night until about 3 a.m.
Well, let's get the show wrapped up so you can get back to see if you can find another server. It's a new day.
I'm out of all the good ones, though.
Oh, that's awesome.
I literally thought about it. I was like, damn, I'm going to have to create my own server just to play.
All right, Donald.
Oh, God.
How come no one will be on my server?
Yeah. If I can't be the boss, I'll create my own environment and be the boss.
Exactly.
All right, everyone. Let's get into it. We will talk about Predictive Oncology, ticker POAI. Pretty much all of us are in this, and we're pretty much all heavy in it. So let's just look at the daily chart, be easier. Here we are in the daily chart. We can see this cup and handle forming, and we obviously know about that S3 filing for $250 million.
Wow.
$250 million that they are looking to raise in the future. Now, if you look at a lot of the forums where all the idiots are, a lot of them are freaking out. And it's because they don't know anything about companies and raising money. A company at $1.14 is not going to try to raise money when they have to stay compliant and be above $1. Let's just put our thinking caps on for all of the morons out there and let that process. It's simple math. What's going to happen here, and it would not benefit them to sell shares right now. Like, what are they going to do? Sell 250 million shares to get this? They would be delisted, and that CEO would be fired. So that's just stupid to even consider right now. So what's going to happen, in my opinion, which is what I've been saying this entire time, trading this, because this tends to always happen with these low float small cap stocks, the ones that have catalysts, and the bio stocks are usually the best with this. Once they are beat down for so long, they'll go sideways like this. And then, for instance, here we see this nice cup and handle pattern. And then now we got an S3 offering for a lot of freaking money. And this company legitimately does have strong catalysts in their pipeline. So that makes all the better. This just isn't some company out there trying to raise cash and they don't have nothing going on for them. So in my opinion, what's going to happen is you're going to wake up one morning and this thing just randomly, well, it's either going to happen in the morning, pre-market, or after hours. I pray to God that it doesn't happen in the middle of the day. If it happens in the middle of the day, it's going to change everything and the run won't be as great. The run will actually take longer. So what I'm expecting to happen is they'll release whatever catalyst, whatever fluff PR. And I'm just going to be real. They're just going to release something that's going to hype this up, and their investors are going to be buying shares. And this thing is just going to magically gap up astronomically, either one morning or one day after hours. And it's going to just start running. And this is why it's always good to have your orders in place, just in case you're not around, and hopefully you can catch profits if it does gap up in your favor. So I like to bring up ticker JAN just because I was actually in this one, and there was a couple other ones I was in, but this ticker I wrote out longer for their S3 filings more so than anyone else. So we can see overall it ran up to about $32. Now I was not in it here. I'll go ahead and say that I was not in it here. I wish I was, but when I came across this ticker, I started trading it back here at the beginning of December. So on this day, it opened up at $4.15 and hit a high at $5.18. It was a quick play. So then the next thing I looked for was for it to break this high. Well, then I caught it over here on this day when it gapped up, pre-market, wrote it up. Pre-market here, it hit a high of 675. And then I was just waiting again for it to happen. And I caught it on this day right here, and this was my best day with it. It ran up to 1164 and did its thing. And I was actually out at 9. That's when I sold for all profits and got out entirely. Now I wish I had stayed in it until the next day, because obviously it increased up to 32. But this is what happens when, just generally speaking, when the company isn't just like upside down and they have a S3 filing, and they'll just, it's like a miracle that happens, that they'll just release these PRs and this thing will just start pushing up and flying. Now, I do not expect Predictive Oncology to make a run, like ticker JAN up to 32. Absolutely not. My ranges are still the same. My normal target price range will be between $4 and $6. With the lottery play, and I'm not even holding out for it, with the lottery play, $15.80. And that is how I'm going to play Predictive Oncology here with this S3 filing. This thing, because they did release an S3 filing, I know a lot of people are going to be expecting this thing to skyrocket before the weekend. It's not going to happen. Now, I hope I'm wrong with that, but I doubt it. It's not going to happen before the weekend. This thing still could go sideways or just bounce around in this channel for months. You will not know when it's going to just shoot up. But whenever it does, you will know. And this is why I have all these little alerts in here. These are all alerts, these little dash lines. Because I want my phone to go crazy. Regardless of what I'm doing, I want my phone to go crazy. So I stop whatever it is, and I can focus on this trade. But you will know the day it gaps up, because it's going to take off running. So that is what I see with this S3 filing with Predictive Oncology. And once I make my my trade here, if it hits my target price ranges, I'll cash out and I'll walk away and I'll go on to the next trade. I won't be sticking around for any secondary runs. That's just usually not me. So
the big thing is, we don't know this, is where they at in their cash flow right now in their R&D. So if they're sitting on cash, the run-up will be later. If they need cash, the run-up will be sooner. So it really comes down to what their burn rate is. And that's something you can only figure out if you've got the ability to dig into their numbers a little bit and do a little more. It's not easy like Google it and find that out. So until then, we stay on our toes and ready to go.
Yeah. So again, guys, it's all about patience. That's what the stock market is about, is patience and doing your research. If you've done your research and if you stay up with your company, because you can do your research and still like things change, or you find out that the company is lying. Like, for instance, ticker GTT a few weeks back, a month or so, whatever. They were lying about their share structure. Now, they haven't officially come out and said it, but at the same time, there's no other explanation how I can sell 40,000 shares multiple times and it never influenced the level 2 at all. And entire 40,000 share lots print in this, in a single block. That's not normal for a dollar stock that is considered a low float. It should not be that way. So yeah, I mean, things can change even after you do your research, but that's why, like, when you're in a trade, making a trade, you have to stay on top of these companies. And I'm not saying that in the sense of you have to stay on top of them because they're going to try to do something sneaky and change things up on you. But it's just good to know what's always going on. And if you keep researching a company, you'll tend to start finding these little nuggets as you just keep digging and digging and digging. And those little nuggets open up, just troves of information for you, or piece together puzzles for you. That way it makes more sense. So patience and research, that's what it's all about.
Did you get a chance to watch Biden last night, President Biden's speech?
No, I told you I was trolling all night.
I know.
I thought
So I find interesting that he's proposed a day trader or a transaction tax. And I was reading somewhere and someone made a post about, hey, that's only affects people who are making $1 million or more. And the follow-up responses were, well, that's not me. Well, today it's $1 million. Tomorrow it's 750. 3 years later, it's 200,000. So once they start going after us for transaction taxes or attacking our gains, you got to be careful. It's a slippery slope. We let them in the hen house. It's going to hurt. Whether the market is $1 million or 2 million or 500,000 is my thoughts.
And what's going to suck is when everything officially turns into a cashless society, there'll be no way around it at all.
True.
I mean, whatever they say you owe in the end, that's what they're going to pull out. You'll be completely controlled. And with that being said, we've been building this channel up, and this entire time we're starting our own militia right here, Transparent Traders Militia, and we're going to put a stop to this. This is an agenda right here, and we're not taking it anymore. We're gonna protect the traders.
It's a parody. He's joking.
Yeah, YouTube's probably gonna kill this channel now. All right.
A couple questions. We got a couple minutes here. Someone's asking about MYMA. MYMA.
MYMA?
Yep.
Oh, MD, you mean?
Oh, you're probably right.
All right. So they're just coming off of a split right here. Let me look some things up on them.
MD.
Well, I'm just trying to process this in my mind. So here's an S3 filing, and they're just coming off of a split. It doesn't even make any sense.
Darren, do you have a question regarding that ticker? You want to put it in there. Is there something that you're asking or something that you need to know? Might help us figure out what's going on there.
I'm just reading through this filing real quick. So I'll be honest, this is weird. So per trading view, they're coming off of a split right here. And if that is 100% true, what date is that? The 19th. If TradingView's data is 100% correct and they're coming off of a split, that's just super weird that they just done a split and then they're doing an S3 filing. So really, to be honest, with this ticker, more research is going to have to be done on this because, like, I don't know if this is just an error with TradingView's data or just whatever. It would just be super odd to do a split and then the next week do an S3 filing to raise $100 million. I don't know. Todd, what are your thoughts on that?
It doesn't make any sense. So that's why So that's why I asked Darren what he was asking about, and he said it's an alert for a bullish potential. So we can move on.
Yeah. More research will have to be done into that.
Someone's asking about ticker Root, ROOT.
All right, ticker ROOT. Last update on short interest, 10.4 million shares being shorted, 39% of the float, days to cover, 3.1 days. Outstanding shares, 59.6 million shares. The float, 26.7 million shares. So I like this share structure. And just scanning the news real quick. So they had some filings today, which I don't have time to really look into it. They have a lot of headlines for news pertaining to a lawsuit. But really, I'll be honest, like people freak out over like these lawsuits.
Lawsuits happen all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
They happen all the time.
Is a lawsuit in the stock market is irrelevant. Like it's so stupid because lawsuits will happen when a stock shoots up sky high. So then the bears will be the bears who are shorting, they'll be trying to sue the company because they get smoked. And then the bulls, they'll sue when something happens and the stock drops. The only person winning here in these lawsuits are the attorneys. I mean, that's about it.
Right.
All right. So the share structure looks great on this. Let's see. Just gonna draw out some trend lines real quick. All right. The only thing that I don't like about this, well, there's actually two things I don't like about this. And this is just preference. Now, the first thing is I don't really have enough data right here. And what I mean by that is, per the TradingView charts, I only have data going back to October 28th, 2020. It's just really not enough data for me to see what's going on this daily chart. The second thing I don't like is the current PPS. Just because I like to get the smaller cap stuff. But again, the PPS preference for me, it's only a preference. Just because I don't like this because of the value or the price of the stock, that actually doesn't mean anything. So looking at the setup right here, coming down, we're forming some supports right here, but truthfully, this thing's probably just going to trade in this channel between about 10.45 on up to about 15.40, which that's cool if you're hitting it right here and hit it perfectly. But they do have earnings coming up, so trying to jump in now is going to make this challenging. Like we spoke about, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Trading earnings, it's kind of like flipping a coin, especially in today's market environment. I mean, we saw how Microsoft, Tesla, all them have went beaten on earnings and then just getting beat up afterwards. So I would wait until we get on the backside of earnings by about a week or so. I like to see this thing just go sideways a little longer. And the longer it goes sideways, the more I'd feel better about it. And then once it started just trending upward, if it broke above 1330 right there, that's when I would consider just taking like a smaller entry. And the reason why I say a smaller entry is with that PPS value, we're talking about getting in at 1330. You don't want to take, if you think about it, you take 1,000 shares. So you have over $13,000 in this trade, and let's just say it just drops 1 point. So you're now down $1,000. Well, this thing could keep dropping after that. So this is why I am saying, just take a smaller position if this is something like you were interested in. That way, you wouldn't be stressed out while trading this with smaller size. And if it kept running, you can just let it run. But going back to the whole not having enough data, that would be like I don't want to say a major concern for me, because it's actually, there's nothing actually wrong with the stock. It's just, it's better when you can see a bigger picture. So sorry that my answer is kind of vague on this, but just what I have to work with. All right, Todd. We have anything else?
Someone asked about ticker CAPR. I just sent out a Twitter alert on that one. I sold my position this morning. There was news. It was light news. It didn't do the run up like I was hoping. So a 3% gain. I mean, it's not going to buy the Lambo, but I'm just freeing up some more cash. But got out of it.
Yeah, we were talking about this one pre-market.
Yeah.
Since the whole Wall Street bets little GameStop situation, the market has changed. Not only that, but we are just naturally going into a season with the market going into the spring and summertime where volume just naturally dries up. So you can see right here, pre-market, this thing, I mean, that first 5-minute candle was strong, and then literally it just died. All the volume just died.
Well, there was no volume. The total volume was like under 50,000 shares. So it's, I mean, yeah, I just cut it and moved on.
Yeah. So what I'll be looking for here is, in the future to see what it's going to do. I'll feel better about it once it breaks this pre-market high. And I mean, when you look at the daily chart, we do have a pretty decent range for what it can actually, do. But we'll just have to see. I mean, with it not having that pre-market volume, the market really wasn't feeling its news, which was literally just a fluff job. It was a partnership, I think, or a license agreement with Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, if you think about that, that's not really news. That's just it's literally a PR. It's actually a stupid PR.
So sometimes you have to look at these bio companies. You have to look at their integrity as their leadership teams. And when you've got certain catalysts in play or you're waiting for, and when they release a fluff piece like that, you have to scratch your head and ask you, what are they doing? What are they trying to accomplish here? And so it makes me nervous when we're waiting for something bigger and this is what they release. So I'm willing to just move on.
Yes. So before we end it, John Archer, I'll just bring up ticker STAR. Man, did you see their earnings? They crushed it. So let's see what they do in the future. See if we can't get a decent run out of them. So Todd, that is all I have for today. Do you have anything?
Nope. Good. We're about 34 minutes from the opening bell. So have a good day. Be safe. Good luck in your trades, and hope all the guys that had Apple calls get paid off today. There's a lot of people who are hoping for a big Apple result. So good luck.
Apple bottom jeans with the boots.
Oh, we're gonna pay music rates now.
All right, guys. So y'all trade safe, take care, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Thanks.